So after my last video on ADHD careers, I mentioned that I wanted to touch on ADHD and entrepreneurship because I truly believe that ADHD can be an entrepreneurial superpower. So in this video, I'm going to break down why ADHDers can often be really successful entrepreneurs. And if you're interested in being an entrepreneur as well, I'm going to give you some tips and advice on how to avoid the pitfalls you could fall into as an ADHD entrepreneur. If you're new here, my name's Chris and I'm a creator with ADHD. And I help fellow busy brains learn the tools to finally get shit done. So ADHD is often seen as a hindrance to some people. But what if I told you that people with ADHD actually have an untapped superpower? And that superpower can actually give them the potential, and that potential can actually make them exceptional entrepreneurs. So in this video, I'm actually going to explore the power of ADHD and our entrepreneurial potential. So understanding and managing ADHD is always going to be an ongoing journey of self-discovery and acceptance and optimization. ADHD is a difference in our cognitive functioning style that if we harness it correctly, it can yield really substantial benefits when it comes to being an entrepreneur and owning your own business. The fact is that people with ADHD are 300 times more likely to become entrepreneurs. The problem is that 90% of businesses actually close within their first year. So while we have a lot of benefits with ADHD that are good for getting a business started, some of the traits of ADHD can mean starting up a business can come with some real pitfalls if you don't know what to look out for. So what can be done to help with this? So if you're interested in starting your own business, from a fellow ADHD founder, I want to give you some tips and ideas to help get you on the right path quickly. So the first thing I want you to look out for is don't invest money that you don't have. So us ADHDers can be impulsive, and that can have some advantages. We can be quick thinking and good in a crisis. We have a really good ability to pivot. Our minds can be super fast acting. But that also means that we can be impulsive when it comes to spending money. There are a lot of really sketchy get-rich-quick schemes out there and MLMs, things that make really big promises for just a small investment. So be mindful of your money. Don't look for a shortcut. Trust me, there are no shortcuts when it comes to being an entrepreneur. It involves a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and no skipping the line. And honestly, there is no line cutting. The next point is start with something that you love, but don't stop there. So when starting a business as an ADHDer, being passionate about the thing that you're starting the business about is important, but it has to be more than that. I love food and I used to run restaurants, but that was exhausting. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't part of my core. So make sure that your business satellites around what you're interested in, but also works with your brain. You know, the phrase I say is know your passions, but also know your strengths. Knowing your strengths is going to help you a lot. And in knowing your strengths, that also means that you know your challenges. The better alignment you'll be able to get from your business. Being an entrepreneur and running your own business is not for the faint of heart. And if you're going all in something that doesn't align with the energy levels that you have, then it's going to be a recipe for disaster. The next point I want to make is use your problem-solving skills to your advantage. So as ADHDers, we are natural problem solvers. We are super inventive, we're super creative, we have huge outside-the-box thinking. And this is where you can use this to your advantage. When it comes to coming up with business ideas, you can avoid the usual run-of-the-mill ideas and actually think of problems that you can solve. Some of the best and most successful businesses and products are always ones that solve a specific problem. The more specific the problem, the more you'll be able to carve out a niche for yourself. So use your creativity and your problem-solving skills to your advantage. Don't settle on some cookie-cutter idea. Think back in your life to problems that you've solved for yourself. And maybe that's something that you can solve for somebody else, and that can be your product. Do your research. Find out what problems are out there, how you can solve them. The more specific you get, the more you'll be able to carve out that niche for yourself and really make an impact. One of the biggest pitfalls in starting a business as an ADHD is that we can go 100% in all at once. As ADHDers, our enthusiasm is no match for anyone. And that's why I think we're so successful as entrepreneurs. We can truly hyper-focus anything into existence, but before we do that, it's really essential that we take a second to pause and look at the bigger picture. The one thing that I would recommend is asking yourself two questions. Number one, is this something I'm willing to invest 2, 3, 4 or more years of my life into? And number two, what is the smallest step to get me from where I am to starting this business? We often think that we have to go all in on whatever idea we have, and it can lead to overwhelm and exhaustion and burnout. But it doesn't have to be that way. In fact, doing that can often be the quickest route to failure. So notice I said to starting the business because the most important step is simply starting it. And along the way, you'll be able to build up that momentum and grow the business in an organic way. But if you invest 100% of your time, 100% of your effort into a business without taking the time to pause and think about if it's something that you want to spend the rest of your life doing, then that can lead to a lot of wasted time, money, and energy. The next point is pause. Before you invest every waking hour to your new business and burn yourself out, pause. Take the time to find your minimum viable product. So a minimum viable product, if you don't know, is basically a product that just has the essential features that will solve the specific problem it's supposed to. There's no flashy designs, no fancy branding, just the bare bones product. And with a minimum viable product, you'll be able to find out if it works with real users, and you can get as much feedback as you can, and then you can grow. Once you get that feedback, then you can start to scale it out more. The final point, and I think the most crucial point for starting a business as an ADHDer, is as early as you can, get organized as hell. I know that this is such a big challenge with ADHDers, but from the start, the more organized you are in terms of your finances, in terms of your filing system, your staff structure, whatever it is, everything, your operations, everything. The sooner you get organized on that, the more chance you'll have at success. Yes, organization is a challenge for us ADHDers, but in terms of being an entrepreneur and setting up a business where hopefully you'll have multiple people eventually working for you, it's so crucial to get organized in the best way possible and as soon as you can. I'm not saying to overthink it, but to make sure that you have all of those systems in place so that you know exactly what direction you're going in and exactly how to do these things and exactly what you should be doing at all times. That includes your filing system, that includes your calendar, your meetings, your finances, etc. But I think the biggest one of all is just get outside of your comfort zone. You know, starting a business and being an entrepreneur and setting off on the entrepreneurial journey doesn't have to be scary. This is something that can be done outside of the day jobs with very little investment. So don't be scared to get outside your comfort zone and simply make that start. But the most important thing is taking that time to just simply start. No business launches perfect, and all business ends up doing some sort of pivot or change along the way. The most important thing is just taking that first step. So let me know, if you're an ADHDer and you're thinking about starting a business, what type of a business is it? What are your biggest fears? What are your biggest challenges when it comes to starting your business as an ADHDer? If you want to learn more tools and to be one of our ultra normal members and help build yourself a thriving ADHD life, then make sure you join me on my free focus bootcamp, where I show you the system that's helped me and other members learn to thrive with their ADHD. I'll drop a link in the description down below. So to summarize, don't invest money you don't have. Start with something that you love, but don't stop there. Use your problem-solving skills to your advantage. Don't go 100% in all at once. Pause, and as early as you can, get organized as hell. And if you've got any questions on being an ADHD entrepreneur, feel free to hit me up in the comments below. Thank you as always for watching, and with that, I will see you in the next video.